There's a lot of individuals out there who might not have a, cushy job where they're working in an office all day. It's climate controlled. It's very comfortable, if you will. It's good, comfortable situation to work in. You're not very stressed physically. So on the complete opposite of that, there are some individuals who do want to work out. They do want to improve their health, but they're outside all day. They're doing manual labor. They're chipping rocks at like a rock quarry, or they're in construction. They're doing all these things. So how do we manage workouts for these people? I wanted to kind of start this out by just looking at this idea of total stress in general. Your body in itself can only handle a finite amount of total stress. Now, this stress input can come from workout stress. This stress input can come from the stress from your overall work, so your career. And it can also come from life stress. And of course, there's a lot of different other things too, but I think this is a good general kind of parameter to work around. So life stress, an example of that, just because that's a little less specific, could be financial issues, or your kid's sick and you got to take off work, which could also lead to a work stress. Maybe you're having a relationship issue at home. These are all forms of stress that can actually build upon each other, and they will affect greatly your recovery protocol. So you need to understand your current balance in these stresses. If you are somebody just in general who's working any type of job that's physically demanding or just mentally demanding and stressful, you need to kind of look at this. And then when you understand your balance of these stresses, knowing how much of one you have and how little you have, you can then ask yourself, how are you sleeping? If you're sleeping pretty good, you're probably going to feel recovered. If you're not feeling really recovered, it's probably because there's an imbalance in stresses between these different metrics. So if you are somebody who's working one of those manual labor jobs, for example, and you just always feel beat down and run down, it could be the fact that your workouts might be too hard and your overall life stress might be too large for the amount of work and stress you're handling from your manual labor or hard work job. That's a really big distinction. A lot of people don't kind of make that connection there. So a few simple guidelines and simple tips that I think can help you is to, one, just realize that recovery is everything. So if you're not sleeping good, if your nutrition's not good, those are going to be some of the most important things to kind of look at and dive into very, very hard. Also, another good tip is to plan your workouts around your energy. If you're working a manual labor job, chances are you're not going to be energetic all the time, and you might not even feel like doing much of any workouts at all at basically any time of the day. So maybe a good tactic for you is working out before your overall workday starts. Another even better tactic is to try to plan workouts on your rest days or days where you are simply not going to work. So if you work Monday through Friday, you might only be able to muster up working out on Saturday or Sunday, just because you know you'll be able to sleep in, you'll be a little more recovered, and that might be the only time that works for you right now in your normal daily life to balance your overall stresses. And the thing I want to kind of reiterate too is to not stress out, more stress, right? To not stress out over how much you can and can't do. You're trying to work in as much physical activity into your life as you can and you can stick to. So if you can't do the optimal 4-day-a-week workout, that's fine. Don't beat yourself up over it, because if you do try to fit that in, you're end up gonna burn yourself out, and you're essentially going to not stick to those workouts because you're going to have too much stress and it's just not going to be fun for you 100%. Another good tactic is to pick complementary exercises. So what I mean by this is that there's some very active manual labor jobs where you are doing a lot of cardio, as in you are running around a lot of bit throughout your shift. Maybe this is like a waiter or a park ranger where you're on your feet a lot throughout the day and you're probably getting your heart rate up very frequently, but you're not doing a lot of resistance training. In this case, you might do just weight training in your normal workouts because you're already doing a lot of cardio from your overall normal work, right? So you don't really need to do that. We're trying to complement. On the flip side, if you're somebody who's doing construction all day and you're swinging a hammer, or you're picking up large objects and such, and you're doing stuff like that all day, that's kind of like weight training. If you think about it, it's kind of like a form of resistance training. So in this case, you might lean towards doing some more cardiovascular activities because you're already kind of doing a lot of manual resistance training in your manual labor job. So kind of looking at it from that way. You might also consider doing more prehab exercises. So if you're somebody who does a lot of overhead work and you notice your shoulders always tired and hurting after work, you might do a bunch of rotator cuff exercises. Or if you're a barber who does a lot of trimming with their hands, right? You might do lots of wrist and finger exercises to help with carpal tunnel and reducing any pain in that regard. If you're somebody who's bending over a lot through your day, you might do some core strength and lower back work so it gets you more resilient for your normal overall hard manual labor job. So it's just kind of a different way of thinking about it. If you are somebody who's working out, you can go towards more of that prehab exercise setting where you're not maybe getting the hardest workout, but you're kind of bulletproofing your body for doing workouts in your manual labor job. Because your manual labor job, as we kind of described already, is kind of a workout in general. And you need to understand the cost of this. You may not be able to optimize your workout 100% because that manual labor job is taking a lot of your energy costs from this. And the last thing I want to touch on with this is to simply be okay backing off from workouts. If you're feeling run down, if you're feeling tired, and you feel like you can't do these workouts anymore, or just on a certain week you're feeling just extra run down, it's okay to back off. It's okay to do a little bit less. It's okay to pivot your workout because the last thing we want to do is injure yourself. And if you're always stressed out with all of these different workout stresses, life stresses, and of course your hard manual labor job work stress, that's going to increase the chances of injury greatly. So at the end of the day, just trying to find a balance between these stresses is crucial. Listen to your body. Listen to your body because we all know our body is best. Or try to go ahead and give this video a like.